Hey there, Astri. So you've written a set of essays for us. Great. Glad to see it. Okay, here we go. Here's what you wrote. The first one is car sales. Okay. The chart provides information about car sales of three brands, namely Ford, Audi, and BMW in certain European countries in 2018. In general, Hungary had the highest car sales, while Belgium had the lowest. Concerning the brand, Audi seemed the least popular car, while Ford and BMW had similar popularity. Great. Really good. That's a great way to put both your introduction and your overview. I'm happy with both of those. In fact, Hungary and Holland had the highest sales figures for Ford, approximately 150. Let's see. Hungary and Holland. Okay, fine. Let's see. Hungary and Holland had Ford, approximately 150,000. They were followed by France and the UK, whose sales figures were almost similar. And Ireland and Belgium. Okay, the other three countries, namely Poland, England, Italy, and Germany, had very few sales. No, you can't say that. You could either say had very few sales or had a very small number of sales, but that becomes too wordy. So just say had very few sales, and then you're fine. Okay, and then that's fine. Another brand, namely BMW, was sold mostly in Hungary, France, Germany, and Germany. Whereas in Ireland, the sales were around 110,000, and there were less than 100,000 BMW sold in Italy, Poland, and the UK, and Holland. Moreover, this brand was not popular in Belgium with only 5,000 sales. Okay, fine. Finally, as the least popular car among these three brands, approximately 130,000 Audi were sold in Hungary and about 110,000 in Germany. Okay, while France, Poland, Ireland, and Holland had only less than 100,000 Audi sales, and very few of this car were sold in the UK, Italy, and Belgium. Okay, so here's the good news. The good news is that, like I said, I really liked your first paragraph. I thought it was very well done. The grammar, the vocabulary was all very good. There may be just a couple of little errors, nothing really serious. Let me tell you what I think the problem with this is. You went into a lot of detail about each of the countries and each of the three car types. And let me tell you what I think you missed. This is called a stacked bar chart. And so one of the things that you need to remember here, and one of the things that you need to focus on, is these totals. Okay, that's why it's organized like this. So it's organized like a stack, okay, so that you can see the total in each country, okay, and then within that total you can then see what number basically belonged to each car company. So what am I trying to tell you? This is really different from, say, for example, a regular bar chart where you would have France and then three different bars next to each other, one for Audi, one for BMW, one for Ford. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. What they really want you to focus on here is not just the actual car companies within each country, but the total. Okay, so what I would have preferred to see here is a paragraph talking about this total. Okay, so starting with Hungary, then talking about France, and then maybe a good thing to do is talk about Belgium and Italy as the least, and then lump the rest of the countries together. A short little paragraph just dealing with those totals. And then you could have selected the most important information that you included here in these three paragraphs, and then you could have put that in one paragraph. Okay, so this is what I think is the intention of this, because as I said, the way you expressed this, I can't understand what these totals are. It's like you never even talk about them. Yeah, you talked about it kind of here in your overview, but I have no sense of this reaching nearly 400,000, of France going over 300,000, and so what's ended up happening here is that we're missing a really, really, really important piece of information. Okay, so that's going to create a problem for you, that you didn't mention the totals at all. Other than that, like I said, the writing itself was really good, but you need to kind of reorganize your answer a little bit, okay? Let's take a look at this about international marketing. Let's see what you said here. International marketing can be seen as invasive and intrusive. Careful, because this is almost identical to what's written here, seen as invasive and intrusion. It's pretty identical, so avoid that. Try to change around the language a little bit. But but it also can be viewed as a necessary and economical form of education. Again, necessary and economical form of education. This will take down points for you, all right? Try to rephrase the language somewhat. In my opinion, there are several reasons that support either view. Well, then you haven't really told us your opinion. Your opinion states that, it's basically telling us that, okay, yeah, maybe you see validity to both sides, but you still have to take a side here, okay? So say something a little bit more than just, yeah, there's validity to both sides, all right? So first, international marketing can limit the opportunity for the economic progress of a country. Consequently, it is considered invasive and intrusive by people in such country. Okay, again, invasive, intrusive, vary your language a little bit. For example, in a multinational company, get rid of the comma, which is usually a giant one, invests its business in a developing country by having a head office and a factory there. By doing this, such company attracts many locals to work for it. This condition provides an opportunity for the company to control the local government, such as by asking for paying a lower tax or setting a lower minimum wage for its employees. Moreover, such company can create a monopoly, don't miss your A there, in a particular business by preventing the government to give permits for the competitors. Consequently, the economy of such country, you keep saying such country, such country, such country, or such company, try to vary that up, cannot develop optimally, and it will depend on the giant company. In other words, the international business invades and becomes an intrusion, ION, for the local economy. Okay, what's happening here is that you're not talking about international marketing. You're talking about, I don't know, what is this called? Economic colonialism? There's a name for it, but it's not coming to me right now. But this is not what international marketing is. This is globalization. This is, it's definitely not international marketing, okay? So it feels right away like an off-topic response. Again, the grammar is good, but there's a lot of repetition in some of your language, like such country, such country, such country. You did it over and over again, and it just becomes very monotonous. Okay, let's move on a little bit to the next paragraph. In contrast, international marketing can be used to open more opportunities for countries to develop economically. Using the same example, instead of controlling the government, the above-mentioned giant business can organize useful activities for communities. For example, by teaching the locals how to start a business or helping them explore natural resources. That's not a full sentence, okay? It's just a fragment. So don't put a full stop here, and instead use a comma, or make it a full sentence by having a subject, because there's no subject here. Furthermore, the company can share its business strategy to the government so that such a strategy can be applied in the local situation and adapted with the culture of the nation. By doing these, not only can the economy of the local country be developed, but the people can learn international language and other cultures. This example shows how international marketing can serve as a necessary education forum. All right, it's a little better. It's a little more on topic. You did talk about education. You did talk about marketing a little bit. So I felt a little better about this, but it still felt like you were talking about something different. All right, so let's move on to the conclusion then. In conclusion, considering the above-mentioned explanations, I believe that international marketing can be seen as either invasive or useful. Each view will depend on how the people who are involved in it practice such marketing. Okay, so again, I will say that your grammar is good. There's accuracy. There's a lot of repetition in your cohesive devices, like using such. That's a cohesive device, and I'm glad you use it, but your use of it is really repetitive, and there's not much variety. You had a nice grammatical structure here when you started with your not only at one point, I don't remember where that was, but it was done grammatically incorrectly. So that's the kind of thing that will cost you in terms of grammar. So it looks like you're trying to do something grammatically advanced, but it kind of falls flat. Here it is. Not only. There it is. Okay. Let's see. Also, for me, probably the most important thing is that this really didn't talk about international marketing. I would suggest that you look up international marketing in a couple of different places to see what it actually means and what is meant by the term. I felt, like I said, you were talking about international trade, you were talking about globalization, maybe you were talking about economic colonialism, but it didn't really feel like it was talking about international marketing. And so an examiner looking at this would probably say that this is a somewhat off-topic response, okay? At least to some extent it is. So what I'd like to see is I'd like to see you signing up with us to get some more video corrections, or if you have more time, you could potentially do the online course, which I think would be very helpful to you as well. It helps you with the structure, it helps you with ideas, it helps you with making sure that you have an on-topic response, because that last thing was pretty much the weak link here in these essays today. Okay, so I'd like to see more work from you. Do sign up for something so we can help you. If you found this feedback helpful, then I'm certain that we can help you improve your writing so you can get the score you deserve, okay? Hopefully we'll see more of your essays soon, so I wish you lots of good luck.